Recently, I've been enjoying making a ceramic piece that's become one of my favorites to make. It's a simple bowl with an elevated foot made of sculptural adornments which give it some elegance. I like to call these pieces Nymphae coupes. A coupe in French is usually a bowl with a raised foot, and Nymphae is the Latin name for lotus, which is a flower that rises as it grows to sit atop the surface of the water and sometimes even rises well above the water surface. I used to see a lot of lotus flowers when I was growing up, so for this piece with its raised foot, I think this name suits it quite well. I start from 950 grams of clay on the wheel, which might seem like quite a lot of clay for a small to medium-ish size bowl, but I need to make sure I leave enough clay at the bottom to carve into later. I decided to throw from one lump of clay instead of attaching separate pieces together, because throwing from one piece of clay makes the piece stronger, whereas if you create joints by attaching different pieces that were made separately, you either have to really make sure your joints are really strong, or it can just make the piece more fragile, especially when it needs to survive 2 firings. What I find really beautiful about the making process of this piece, and what I also find very enjoyable, is it's a blend of pulling and opening the clay outward at the wet stage, and later on carving inward into the clay at the leather hard stage. So it's a blend of throwing and sculpting, and I personally have really enjoyed combining the two together in the creation of a piece. So once the piece has dried overnight, I flip it upside down on the wheel and I start to carve into this thick, chunky foot. The deeper I cut into the clay, the more delicate these points will be. This is a slow, meticulous, and quite frankly, meditative process where I'm fully focused on listening to the clay. I'm sculpting round, pearl-like shapes while also tuning into each individual piece to make sure I don't overdo it. If I carve too much away, the piece will break and there's no going back. So I take my time with each piece until it feels right. The inside of the foot is also carefully trimmed. This is when I take away as much clay as I can from the inside of the foot, but I really need to make sure I'm doing it carefully so as to not take too much away. Otherwise, the walls will become too thin and the piece might break, it might collapse from the weight of the bowl, or it simply won't survive the 2 firings at 950 degrees and later 1200 degrees Celsius. I didn't get any video footage of the final piece, but I do have these photos to share. My good friend Isabel sent me these photos of a wedding she styled, and she made stunning floral arrangements in the Nymphae coupes. I had to share these too. They're just insanely beautiful to me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed putting this together. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk soon. Bye.